Matteo Berlucchi. So what I'm going to tell you about today, it's an idea. And I feel like the ugly version of Leonardo DiCaprio in Inception, because I have the opportunity to get this idea into your heads, and I hope that you're going to take it away with you. And it's about this concept of pre-primary care, which is actually, we believe, one of the biggest undiscovered markets in healthcare. So where is I'll start from? Your.MD started 4 years ago, and we launched our AI solution 3 years ago. And so we stumbled across this idea, which I think is revolutionary. So we all have a need for healthcare, and we all have a problem finding out what we need to do. So we go to the doctor. The doctors are the only source of its information, and the result is this. And kind of notice the bottom right one, so it's not changed much since the Republic of Venice. And in the developing world, this is even worse. Half of the world population doesn't have direct access to a medical professional. So the idea of pre-primary care kind of was born out of the realization that if you look at the human behavior when we're unwell, we actually start trying to work it out ourselves. Then we ask our friends and family, and then recently, because of the internet, we go online and we're trying to find the solution online. So the last resort is the medical professional. And so the name primary care is a bit of a misnomer, as Professor Sir Muir Gray said very, very cleverly. So what we want to propose is this concept of pre-primary care. And the definition that I suggest is very simple. Pre-primary care is the market created by the digital health technologies that can assist people self-care. So if it's true that we all would like to self-care, and we only end up to see the doctor as a last resort, how could we enable people to self-care through digital technologies? So Molly Coy, which is the MD and former Chief Innovation Officer at UCLA, stated that pre-primary care is the most important piece of primary care that can happen. She's actually, she's got the credit for the name. If you Google it, she's the very first person in the world to use pre-primary care as a name. And we then picked it up and we developed it. So let me give you some numbers to prove the case for pre-primary care. So let's look at the need, the strain on the system. This is UK numbers. They are shocking, to say the least. So the number of GP consultations has increased by more than 50% in the last 10 years. But look at the third bullet, the number of GPs is dropping really, really fast. 33,000 in 2018 versus 41,000 only in 2016. And the number of times GPs have to see the patients keeps on growing. So, and if you look at actually what these doctors do, and this is the additional proof point for pre-primary care, the majority of the visits to doctors are for minor ailments. There's the top 10 reasons why people visit a GP, and accounts for 75% of visits, and it's things like heartburn, blocked nose. And then 1 in 3 people admit that they go to see the doctor knowing that it's for a condition that they could probably cure themselves. And then half of the millennials in the Generation X actually state that they would make every effort to avoid seeing the doctor. So what is the size of this pre-primary care opportunity? You know, there's a report that just came out by IRI Worldwide that estimates that the market for self-care and wellness is at least $500 billion in 2019. And some other interesting points, if you look at the impact of the self-treatable condition on the NHS, is estimated that if you could remove them from the primary care system, that could save more than £2 billion a year just in the UK. So what is on offer today for pre-primary care? It's basically Google. 80% of people in the US look up their symptoms. This is according to Google themselves, but Google has not been designed to deal with medical information. And so at Your.MD, we launched the first ever chatbot with AI exactly 3 years ago. So we pioneered the space, and we continually do so. And our objective is to help people navigate pre-primary care with the assistance of AI. Put simply, we believe that AI can unlock self-care by enabling people find out what they really need to do, including when they need to go and see a doctor. So we had to use AI because there is a part of this service that is very complicated, which is understanding the individual probability of every person to have a particular condition. It's basically, what is your situation and what can you do about it? And it's a non-linear problem, and I think that technology should be used for the need it's tried to fix, and not because it's sexy. So we looked at what solutions were there to try to be able to give sensible, personalized advice to people, and we realized that AI was the only one. So we built, today, still the most advanced natural language processing interface in the world. You can download the app and play. We'll just go on our website. We have complete free text so people can say whatever they feel like, as they would do with a real doctor. And then we give the best next steps. So we don't diagnose, doctors diagnose. In pre-primary care, you should not diagnose. You should give people guidance. And what you want, as a user, you want to know that you're given safe, personalized next steps. We also achieved the CE mark this spring, following the NHS guidelines. They are the strictest probably in the world for clinical risk management. And we also have a partnership with NHS Choices, because when you want to look up a piece of medical information, again, if you go to Google, you find 1 million pages, but you want one clear, simple, and safe piece of information. This is how we present it in our platform. And then the third thing that you need to be able to unlock pre-primary care is also point people towards the available services. Because I need to know what I can do about my problem, and if it's a self-care problem, what are the options? And this is actually our business model. We connect people with a particular problem with a solution. So My Sugar, that I just spoke, is one of our partners on Your.MD, and if we identify that people may have a problem with diabetes, we point them towards the My Sugar app. Here are some other examples. So you may want to look up where you can see a doctor, or speak to a doctor, where you could buy some medicines, where you could get some treatments, where you could get some blood tests. And what we do, we vet these partners, because again, as a user, you don't know which services you can trust. And we point them towards the most appropriate solution for a given problem. So in this slide, you can see how we can redesign the patient journeys. So instead of having every single person impacting the primary care system, and then most of them being redirected to a pharmacy or home, or to do self-care solutions, and then a small percentage of them being passed to secondary care, with pre-primary care, you can completely redesign these journeys with enormous savings for the whole system. So 80% of people could go straight to a pharmacy to buy what they need, and then only the needed 20% would go and see a doctor, and then passed on to secondary care. So every revolution needs a manifesto, so we wrote the pre-primary care manifesto, which is available on our website, which has contribution from the former Minister of Health in the UK, a lot of academics, a lot of our partners. It's a very interesting piece of work, I think. It's available for you on our website, and I need your help to support it, disseminate it, embrace it, because I believe that we can only unlock pre-primary care if we all start understanding the potential of this market, recognizing it, and working together to unlock its value. Thank you very much.